afternoon. Today is day 2 in our 4-part series on why you need to be keeping a daily journal. And this series is all about keeping a daily to-do list and food log. So some of you may think that you don't need to be worried about what you're eating every day, or you don't really care what you're putting into your body, and you think it's not going to have an impact on your life later on. Well, I am here to tell you that that is the furthest from the truth that there is. If you just think that going to restaurants and fast food lanes does not affect your health, then you are sadly mistaken. Everything that you eat, if you remember back from grade school and middle school, I know I'm in my mid-50s, and I don't know what they teach children in the schools these days, because my daughter is 29 years old, and I homeschooled her. But I do remember, and I think there might even be some TV commercials that tell you, you are what you eat. And as a kid growing up, I didn't think about that very much because I relied on my mom and to give me good nutritious food, and which, she did. But today, it's all about convenience and eating fast. I don't know if people even sit down and have meals together anymore as a family, or if people just come in and grab something out of the refrigerator and freezer and pop it in the microwave and plop down in front of the TV or in front of their device, and they don't even really communicate with each other and talk to each other. It's just like, do they even say, "Hi Mom, I'm home," or "Hi honey, I'm home"? It just seems like everybody's in a fast pace mode. But you really need to slow down. And on my channel, I hope you will find that, for one, I don't talk like a chipmunk, and I have nothing against the young people who do on YouTube. I am not saying anything against them. I have, like I said, a 29-year-old daughter, but she doesn't speak that way. But I do have a niece who's 28, and that is how she is. She's a very, gets into a hyper thing. And I hear you young people say that, "Oh yeah, when I get into the zone," or something like that. However you say it, I am definitely old school, and my zone was the school crossing zone. So I have to laugh when I hear all the modern terminology, which I'm sure you guys would laugh when you Google what was the terminology in my day. But anyway, I'm not here to pick on younger generations. It entertains me. I mean, it really does. I guess that's why they say that, make your channel entertaining, because that's definitely, and it speaks to the younger group anyway. So I'm speaking, I know I have, which is really amazing. I find it very amazing. But I think why I have a younger group of followers, my stats show that the age range of my followers, the peak, is 20 to 40 years old. So I can only contribute that it's because they're not getting the guidance that they need in their life. So they're either they don't have a mother who's health conscious, or they don't have, they just don't want to go to the mom. Maybe that's what it is, because I think my daughter's like that. When she's absolutely in a pinch or in a crisis mode, then she calls me up let me retract that. She texts me, do people even call each other anymore? It's like, that's another one of my pet peeves. Now that, you can get me on a soapbox. I'm not in the zone, but I will get on a soapbox about that. I hate this modern technology of how it has isolated people from relationships with each other. Anyway, okay, that's enough about that. So today's about keeping your food diary, and I don't know why the lighting keeps doing that, but and your to-do list. So the first thing we need to talk about is how to get started. This series is all about helping you get started and why you need to be making the good food choices that you should be making in your life. So I was one of those people who have always been thin. I've always had health problems since the age of 6. And if you are anything like me, I have a memory, almost like a photographic memory. I remember everything. From the time I was a baby, I can remember things happening. I was born in 1963, and when President Kennedy was shot and killed, I was 6 months old in my baby carrier, and I could remember hearing it on the television. And my parents were just absolutely flabbergasted. And then the next year when they would talk about it, and then, so I can remember back to when I felt good and I would enjoy playing. I was always enjoying playing. I wasn't a tomboy, but I enjoyed being outdoors playing, and there were 4 of us, and my mom would always send us outside to play, which was a good thing because I was always being grounded with nature, and we were climbing trees and we were running barefoot, and it really helped strengthen my immune system. We would make mud pies, and so I was really getting into the dirt and the organisms and things like that apparently my body needed. And even though we picked up some bad stuff along the way too, I would have to take some nasty medicine and do all kinds of crazy things to get rid of them, but we had animals, so you pick up parasites and things like that playing outdoors. I wouldn't dare walk barefoot anywhere now, but from the age of 6, I developed hypoglycemia. At age 8, I believe it was, my mom took us to the dentist, and I did not need fillings, and he gave me 4 fillings. 4. That's all I had. My sister had like 8 or something like that. Everybody had a bunch. And that was a nightmare experience. It was like this 80-year-old dentist through the health department, and his hand was like this, putting the, shot in my mouth. So he was stabbing me all over the mouth. It was like nightmare city. So, for me to go to a dentist nowadays, I start, sweating and getting all upset and everything. I have to calm myself down and say, you're an adult. Get a hold of yourself. But anyway, so that was a nightmare experience. And then after that, I started noticing different symptoms cropping up. Okay, and one other thing. At age, was it 6 also, I believe it was? I was in 1st grade. I had to have a hernia operation, and I was born with a hernia. It was a genetic situation. So at age 6, I had anesthetic. At age 8, I had all that Novocaine, or who knows what they put in your mouth. And my health just went down from there. It was terrible. And I inherited, unfortunately, everything that my mother and grandmother had. My other siblings, they're healthy. But, so I've always had a weak immune system, weak muscles, even though I played and ran and had a good old time. And I was the fastest runner. I could just run. I would just do my best to outrun everybody. So I was always running, playing, getting exercise, and I'd have what somebody told me recently, which is a new terminology, a hummingbird metabolism. So I just apparently burn up all the carbs, so that's why I stay thin. I eat good. To my standards, I feel like I eat good. And prior to getting Lyme disease, I ate like everybody else eats. I would have your normal, typical breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and maybe a few snacks in between, and I would eat, odds and ends of chips and what have you. And then when I turned to eating organic food, which was about 5 years before I got the Lyme disease, so got that in 2004, so maybe like around 2000, 1999, somewhere in there. And I was introduced to the Eat Right for Your Blood type diet. And I found out, I'm type O, because when I was pregnant with my daughter, they tell you, what your blood type is. And so I started following that because I had a second pregnancy. I'm sorry, I'm looking for a tissue, but anyway, I don't find one right here. My nose is tickling me. Can I pop off camera just real quick to wipe my nose? Thank you. Okay, I'm back. And, where was I? Okay, eat right for your blood type diet. And I had gained, the only time I gained weight, okay, I was 114 pounds, 5'6", when I got pregnant with my daughter when I was 27 years old. Okay, so at 27, 5'6", I only weighed 114 pounds. And the first thing they told me was, you're 25 pounds underweight, and you need to gain 25 pounds with the pregnancy for the baby. And I just laughed. I said, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I said, I don't gain weight. How do you expect me to gain weight? So they just said, well, just eat normal, but just eat it more. You going to find, you want to eat, so just keep just eating. So they weren't I wasn't one of those women that came and they told me, oh yeah, watch what you're going to eat. They just said, eat. When you get hungry, you eat. So, because I had the hypoglycemia, it did turn into the, what is it called, gestational diabetes. And so then they had to evaluate what I was eating and where are you getting sugar? Because I didn't eat sugar. So it was like corn, milk of all things, even salt. Did you know they put sugar in salt? So this is when you find out the truth, is when you get pregnant. When they start taking you off all the bad stuff, that's a clue. So if you ever, even if you don't want to get pregnant, just investigate. What do they take pregnant women off of? Okay, so that's all the bad stuff that you shouldn't be eating. Anybody shouldn't be eating. Okay, all my prescription medications I went off of, which I was basically only taking something for reflux disease. And so when I said, wait a minute, you mean I can't take this even? As, oh no, we don't know what it would do to the baby. So anyway, so then fast forward through my whole entire life, sick, being on antibiotics, messing up my microbiome, which is in your intestine. Nobody ever gave me a probiotic. So year after year after year, I was on an antibiotic. So it was just destroying my poor little gut and immune system. So by the age of 10, I had a bleeding ulcer, duodenal ulcer. Okay, yes, I did have some stress in my life from odds and ends of stuff. I won't go into that. But anyway, so the doctor had a hissy fit and called my parents in, and I'm in the hallway, sitting in the hallway. Didn't leave me in the waiting room, no, put me in the hallway. So I could hear him chew my parents out, up one wall and down the other, as to what was causing stress in this child's life. She's only 10 years old. She has a bleeding ulcer. This is unheard of. So, of course, each parent blamed the other. Oh my goodness, I had to hear that for months and years. It was crazy ridiculous. And so anyway, I just put it all out of my mind. I said, that's their problem. It's not my problem. And so by the time I was 18, they put me on some kind of little teeny tiny yellow pill. I took one a day. Time I was 18, okay, the ulcer healed. And I started seeing a chiropractic physician. He was the nicest elderly gentleman. Dr. Vahue was his name, and he was in Orlando on Mills Avenue, I believe it was. So any of you that are from Central Florida and my age, that time and went to chiropractors, you might know who he is, or you might be a chiropractor watching and listening. And so he put me on some things, and of course I was young, and I didn't like taking pills, and it was very difficult. And so he had me, to gain weight, start eating a snack before bedtime, like an hour before bedtime. So it was 3 crackers, which at the time I could have wheat, with either peanut butter on it, just regular peanuts, ground up, not the other stuff, or I could have cheese. So I could have 3 crackers with cheese one night, the next night 3 crackers with peanut butter. And within a month, within 1 month, I gained 4 pounds. So when I went back, I weighed 118. He flipped out. Oh my goodness, because they did the the 8-hour glucose tolerance test on me, and it showed that I did have hypoglycemia, but it would tend to spike. So he said I was borderline diabetic. So it's hypoglycemia, but then it gets to a point, because they feed you all that Coke and garbage. Oh my goodness, what a nightmare that was. So he's like, he goes, oh my goodness, gaining weight that quickly is going to put you into being a diabetic. Stop eating the crackers at night. I lost the 4 pounds. the next month I came back, I lost them. I never gained them back. I was so upset with him. And I tried. We went back to, he said, okay, go back to doing it. No. So because it was, I guess, such a drastic gain and then a drastic drop, my body just stayed at that. So anyway, I'm telling you all this because I want you to realize that, and I know I've Googled it before, and there's a lot of other people out there who are thin like me, and they're all saying, I can't gain weight no matter what I eat, and I eat a lot of food, and I can't gain weight. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you this. And even if you're a person who does gain weight easily, you still need to be listening and paying attention because tips that I will share with you if you really care about yourself, if you care about how you look and how you feel, and don't want to have diabetes, don't want to get high blood pressure or anything else as you get, older. And because my niece, she already was tending to have high blood pressure. She was just a teenager, 18 years old, and she was tending to be toward high blood pressure. And of course, why? Because she ate terrible, she drank terrible, and she would always say, Aunt Marcia, but I just can't do like you. And this is what all my friends always say, oh, I don't have willpower like you. Do you? I've never seen anybody with willpower like you. I said, well, you know what? It all boils down to when you get sick as a dog, you think you're going to die, and you really, really care about yourself, you love yourself, you say, you know what? I'm worth being on a strict diet. I'm worth making some changes in my life. I want to be here. And 15 years ago, if it wasn't because of all the help that I received through prayer and friends, I would not be here. Because what I went through with the Lyme disease, humanly not possible to survive without divine intervention. I can just tell you that for a fact. And so keeping a food diary and monitoring what you eat is the best tip that I can give you, and the best thing you can do for your life. And I've had friends call me up and say, oh, Marcia, I'm having such terrible intestinal problems and, IBS and all this kind of thing. And then when they start telling me what they're eating, which is, of course, maybe they think they're eating good, but they're sneaking stuff in there. They're eating junk and sugar, So that's the number one thing you have to stop doing. So there's a 21 elimination diet. 21-day elimination diet. Look that up. It's a whole list of all the things that are not good that everybody, of course, loves. And I think eggs, pork, and beef was on the one that I tried. And then the other ones are like sugar, caffeine, salt, corn, eggs, dairy, soy. So if you can eliminate those from your diet for 21 days and then see how your digestion feels, see if you start losing weight, gluten, did I say wheat and gluten? And the bloating, Now, if you're on birth control pill, okay, now I was one of those rare 1 in a million people that didn't gain any weight. It actually ate a hole in my esophagus and I had to go off of it. That's how I got pregnant. And, but you gain a lot of weight in your belly. My daughter, and she, especially, I see a lot of women like this, and they start all in the middle and the hips because the birth control pill fools your body to think you're pregnant. Okay, so everything, you get weight everywhere. So if you're one of those women, then don't get stressed about it because the birth control pill is causing a lot of that. Okay, so, but making some diet changes and eating good is going to help that. Okay, we're at 18 minutes. So the first thing you need to do is the 21-day elimination diet. That's my first top tip for the day. Okay, I don't want to go, but keep a food diary. Okay, and if you can eliminate those foods out of your diet, because my daughter's like, Mom, I'm going to go off of wheat for a whole month, and I said, what about sugar? Oh, one thing at a time, Mom. And I'm like, if you're going to restrict yourself, don't just restrict one thing, because then the next time, what are you going to do? Go back to eating the wheat, but you're going to then take out sugar? No, you have to take out everything at one time to be able to allow your body to heal. Okay, it allows inflammation to go away. It allows that excess fat. It allows that excess water retention, all of that upset to go away and to calm down. Okay. The second tip I will give you is to find a good probiotic. Okay. Something that is, your lactobacillus, I'm not good at pronouncing all this stuff, bifidobacillus or something like that. Anyway, and then one I think is called with strepta something or another. Again, these long words that I don't know. And there's several companies out there that does make good products. Now I take one from Designs for Health. It's round and it's a tablet, and it tastes terrible if you get it anyway. But so if you can find another one, I think, what is it called? It was Theralax, I believe, is a brand. It's on Vitacost. If you go on my website, marketsofsunshine.com, click on my tabs up there. I know I've got the shop with me on Etsy. I've got my VIP coupon code, my About page, and I know there's another tab. I can't remember what the name of it is right now, but that I have my referral link for Vitacost is on there, and Grove, which is just being able to shop from home. But you get a discount. So Ebates. Okay, so sign up for Ebates first. Okay, that's a cashback site. I know there's several other ones, but that's the one I use, and there's my referral code. And all of this helps support my channel. And what I'm doing in my life, paying for my medical bills with Lyme disease because I can't take prescription drugs and all that, so insurance doesn't cover anything that I'm able to do. And so sign up for Ebates first. Okay, that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is then sign up for Vitacost and look on Vitacost for a very good probiotic. And I know a friend of mine was Theralax is one. And then depending on your age, check out Garden of Life. So if you don't have any sensitivities that you know of to any foods, or if you can eat fruit and all this vegetable, you don't have stuff like I do. Garden of Life is a very nice, good one too. That a friend of mine, she highly recommends it. And she suffered for decades with bowel problems and had a colonoscopy, and there was nothing they could find. That's the thing they always tell you. And she's like, well, why do I have all this problem and pain and diarrhea and blah, 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 blah. So she's like, I don't know who finally told her, you need a probiotic. Solved all her problems. Gets on the probiotic. So probiotic, that would be my second tip after you do the 21-day elimination diet. Do the elimination diet first, then get on the probiotic. Okay. And see if the probiotic, take it for 30 days and see if that helps calm down your irritable bowel, your diarrhea, your constipation, your maybe not even going, because that's one of my problems. And exercise. Okay, that's tip number 3. Just get out and start walking. Okay, I don't expect you to be out there playing tennis. I mean, if you can ride a bike, if you don't have joint problems, go to the gym if it's, like it's cold where you are. It's too hot here in Florida. Humid, I can't get out there, but I'm watching all the birdies and everything outside, so if you watch my other video, you can see I'm right here by the window, and you know how much I love animals and birds and all this stuff in my yard, and they're just having a ball today because it's 80 degrees, and they're just eating everything out there. So, anyway, so that is tip number 3. And then in your food diary, okay, after you do the 21 days, which I would go ahead and do the 30. Let's just go ahead and scoot it out to the full 30 days. Okay, so the day 31, I want you to add in one of the foods that you took off on the elimination diet. Don't throw them all back in at once, because you'll shock your body, and then you won't know which one is good and which one is bad. So start with either wheat or sugar, whichever one you crave the most, or dairy, and only one. And then eat it one day, and then see how you feel. Then the next day, see how you feel. The third day, see how you feel. Okay, now you're going to have to wait at least a few more days, and then see if you notice anything. Do you get acne back? Let's say your acne cleared up. Did your bloating get better? Did your bloating come back? Did your diarrhea go away? Did your diarrhea come back? Things like that. Okay. Does your nose run when you eat that? That's a food allergy or sensitivity, more sensitivity. Do you sneeze? when you eat that food. My body tells me all kinds of signals. It's like, okay, when the running nose doesn't work, they said, okay, we gotta take out some. I mean, it's just like projectile sneezing. All of a sudden, you put that food in your mouth or you actually swallow it, and that body says, no, this food is not good for you. Does your nose get really dry? Does your skin start to itch? These are all things that happen to me. So you have to start getting in tune with your body. Listen to your body. Okay, turn everything off. No phone, no TV. Quietly sit when you're eating so that you can be in tune with how you're feeling, how your body is, what messages is your body telling you? What is it saying? Is it saying, oh, this is really yummy, we like this? Or is it saying, no, go back to taking this back out of your diet? Okay, so then after you do that, that's the first week. The second week, you add the second food back in. You do that same process. 3 days in a row, then the next 3 days, wait, see how you feel, see how everything goes. Then the next week, you do the same thing. So this is a slow process to introduce these things back in. So you will thank yourself later for doing this whole thing. So that is my tips for today. Get started with your food diary log. Get started with the 21 elimination diet, and then keep a daily tab of how you're feeling. So at first, when you're going to get rid of all this stuff, especially like the caffeine and the sugar, you may get headaches, you may get cranky, you may not be able to sleep as good. You're going to notice some things. Your body's going to start, because it's going to have to flush out. It's finally being able to flush out. So exercise is very important during this time, because that will help the lymph system and your natural detox system. And sweating, you need to sweat if you can sweat. I'm not a person who can sweat very easily. So, but do anything that can help you to sweat. Okay. And then that will help your body get rid of all this, build up that has been accumulating in there and giving you issues. All right, then report back. Put it in the comments below. Put, yes, I'm going to try this 21-day elimination diet. And then report back and say, this is what happened. Okay, and let me know in the comments, because I would be really, really interested to see, did you do it? And then what happened? Did you lose weight? Did your skin clear up? Like I said, all these things. Just, see what kind of big good benefits happen from, going on this 21-day elimination diet. Okay, and then in the next video, then we're going to go over actually doing a rotation food diet. So this is for all people who have food sensitivities, not full-blown allergies, and then I will talk to you about tests that you can have done, that I've had done, that actually do work. So don't listen to these normal dietitians and all these people that say, oh, those say tests don't work. That's not true. They do. But you just have to know which ones and which doctors perform these tests. And then there's a new test that I've just come into contact with recently that I'm thinking I might also have done, because it's a lot cheaper than what the doctor did on me. And it helps you with what foods you need to eat, what supplements you need to take to clear everything up and to get your body feeling better. And I'm getting some really good feedback from people who I know are doing it and have had good success. And so that I will be able to recommend the ones that are good for you. So I'm just watching the wren. He came back into my gazebo. Now last year, this is what they did. They picked out one of my orchid pots and they made a nest. So now he was over, and I'm watching to see, because he went into another orchid pot. He didn't go into the one they already killed. They killed the orchid. Because I couldn't water it. Am I going to water it? So now he's in my gazebo, and I think he was just looking for something to eat. I'm trying to look to see where he is. Okay, so now he's hopping into the other orchid pot, and he's hopping all over the place. I have a spider plant in a basket there. So I don't know if he's just looking for food or if he's scouting out. Ooh, where's my next beautiful pot? Because see, that's all screened in. And we have a problem with feral cats in the area, but we took care of that because we quit feeding them, and that was like, that's what you were doing wrong. And so we don't have them coming anymore, but they built their nest in there because it's all screened in, so they're protected. They're smart little things, I'm telling you. And so I don't know. I'll have to keep an eye out, and I'll let you know. Does he make another nest? Am I going to have to sacrifice another plant to the wrens? So I'm beginning to say, you know, why? I'm just going to get an artificial plant and I'm going to put it in there and say, this is your pot. Don't touch another one. Oh my goodness. You got to love them, don't you? Okay. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and just, you know, helping me out, letting me entertain you and educate you and help you to, you know, not go through some of the horrible, scary things that I've gone through. So I haven't done a video in a long time on Lyme disease, but I will be doing that and eventually. And but right now, let's just talk about how I can help you with your diet and feeling better and eating what's good for you. Okay, so whether you're on a plant-based diet, whether you do eat animal products, whatever, you know, that you've decided to do for your life that you feel is good choices, then I will help you along that journey. Okay? So thanks so much for being here with me today, and I will see you in part 3 of this Why Should You Be Keeping a Journal series. Bye-bye.